Great to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today. I appreciate it.
Hi, Joe. I'm so happy to be here, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So let's begin our journey with this. 6 years ago, this pandemic was changing so much about our lives. How did you get through that era, and how has it influenced the way that you do things today?
So it's a great question. Actually, I believe that I moved to United States because of pandemic.
Yeah.
It was a really funny story because you remember that period, everything was closed and it was impossible to travel or something like that. And I had touristic visa at that time for US, and I just decided to spend here the vacation at the end of the spring. And at that moment, it was my first time in California. I just felt that I belonged to this place. And since then, I just made this decision and move. Speaking about business aspect of my life, I think everybody understand that everything dramatically changed. I mean, the patterns of our clients, how we spend our time. For example, the industry of the cinema theaters absolutely in a bad situation. It's just an example. And I think that since then, and as for now, resilience became the main word in the business area. And that's what I'm doing for my job as well. So I'm just building the resilience for the businesses of my clients.
So where are you originally from?
Originally I'm from Russia.
Okay, excellent. So let's get into your work, exactly what you do as a business psychologist, entrepreneur, speaker. So if I put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds at career day and one of the kids wanted to know what you do for a living, how do you answer them?
Okay, it's a great question. Let's imagine that my client is a hero who are fighting with a dragon every day. It's a little bit for the younger kids, but that's okay. Let's
Yeah,
let's use the fairy tale example.
sure.
And business is a very impressive, interesting journey, but full of very unusual situation that you need to face with, and you need to be prepared for this situation. And you can be sure as a business hero that you have any weapons that you need in your arsenal, all the tools that you need. Because, for example, today it can be a dragon, tomorrow it can be kind of the Witcher or somebody else. And to be ready for this and to continue your journey, you need to be resilient. You need to find different solution that will work in this situation that you never know. You never know what will happen tomorrow with you and your journey. But you want to continue this journey because as a result of your journey, you're creating services, you're creating amazing product for you, my dear kids, and for you, my dear people. For example, what is your favorite ice cream? What is your favorite cafe? And here we can jump into the different example that will be what they are familiar with. So, and my job is to prepare our hero to for his or her everybody for his or her everyday fight with the dragon. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. So talk to me a little bit about what you wanted to do when you were that age. When you were 12 or 13, what was your dream job?
Oh God. Actually, then I was a kid. My dream was to become a teacher, and
Okay.
I think that my job is something pretty close to this, to the teaching
Yeah.
thing, because that's what I'm doing. And I'm kind of active coach. I'm not just a teacher who is saying you do this, don't do this.
Uh-huh.
It's more about let's find something that will help you to do what you do in unexpected level.
So take me back to your childhood growing up in Russia and your family and what were the seeds that were planted that made you want to be a teacher, that has now made you want to help people find where they belong? How did that happen?
Um, I thought about it, and I think that my profession is a combination of what my grandparents did because I'm growing up with my grandparents. My mom was 18 years old when she when she born me, so and she graduated in her university when I was little, and most of part of my childhood I spent with my grandparents, and they were really spectacular people because, for example, my grandpa he was an engineer and he created the rocket engine that brought humanity to the space
Wow.
from the one hand. And my grandma, his wife, she was a founder of the medical university at the area where we lived at that period. And she was a brilliant dentist. And she She was a teacher and she was a doctor as well at the same time. She was a professor in this university. And I think that my job is combination of kind of engineering systems because mostly I'm living in the Silicon Valley and I work with the people from tech industry. But at the same time, I'm very oriented to the human approach and to deep understanding of what's going on in organization and in business through the human perspective.
So who's been your hero? Who's been an inspiration for you to do all of this, to come to America, to find this job that you love? Who's been that for you?
Um, it's difficult to say who directly was my hero. I just felt that I belonged to this place. It's difficult to describe it in another way. And I think the main aspect that influenced for this decision was the people here. Because I was such an impressed of their entrepreneurship freedom, their braveness, their innovation that are happening here, and I didn't think about America at all. I thought about the Silicon Valley and to find my own path here. Actually, since then, I never ever felt that I the smartest person in the room, and I believe that I never will feel it again in my life.
So what was it like to adjust to coming to America from Russia? What was that adjustment period like for you?
I think that I'm still handling something. I mean, speaking about adaptation, and the main challenge, I think, this is the cultural adaptation, because language and all this stuff, you can work on it, you can develop it. It is a lifetime journey, but you can do it. But the cultural thing, specifically of the person who moved at the age like 35, like I did, because you already a person, you already have your achievements, you have your career, network, everything, and you need just to start over.
Yeah.
But again, I can handle it. The most complicated thing is a cultural adaptation, and I even made kind of research and comparing the cultural aspects between Russia and United States, and try to guess how many common things we have in our culture, like values, for example, cultural values. How many of them?
Oh man. I mean, things were changing so much now. I mean, I would imagine, I mean, they're pretty different culturally, I would imagine, both places. So there's a vast difference.
It is a zero. You're right.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I just created kind of resource the top 15 values appropriate for the culture of the United States and the same for the Russian. There, when I started to compare them, I found that there is nothing in common. And Russian values is something in my blood because I was born in this society. This is my native language. I growing up professionally. And right now I'm an absolutely another system of coordinates and I need to do something here. I need to provide my services. I need to develop. I need to earn money. So, and it is really challenging because you believe that you're acting in a correct way because this is something that you know how to do. But no, people here, they can accept it in absolutely unexpected way for you.
So talk to me a little bit about entrepreneurship. Who's been an inspirational force for you, an entrepreneur in your life?
Uh, I believe mostly it was my grandpa. Because he wasn't entrepreneur, but it wasn't the society where entrepreneurship could be because it was the Soviet Union. It was impossible to do something like this there. And I believe that if he will live in our time, he probably will be very brave and innovative person. Because when I'm thinking about him, he was a small boy from the Ukrainian village and 25 years later and he already creating the engine that bring humanity to the space and his braveness and in his way to think in another way is really impressive. And I actually think this is something my genetic because right now I as a researcher in this field of specifics of neurophysiology of entrepreneurs, I really understand that we have kind of specific brain and nervous system. And I think that I have something like this as well in my physiology. And that's what make me easier to work with entrepreneurs because I'm pretty fast. They're open to change. They're open to innovation. And I really think that we can understand each other. And this is very rare situation in psychological field.
So what is the motivation for you every day to wake up to do this work that you do, to take care of your soul and to do it at a high level? What is that motivation when the alarm clock goes off in the morning?
I think this is two aspects here. One of the aspect, there is really lack of information about the specific of entrepreneurial brain, and as a result of this, these amazing people who are creating services, products, everything that we need day by day, they struggling sometimes with kind of how can I say it, not very good and comfortable condition, not very comfortable feeling of being myself. Because among entrepreneurs, we have very specific numbers of different mental disorders. Like, for example, entrepreneurs, if we will just look at the numbers, in average population, we have 1% of the people with bipolar disorder. Among the entrepreneurs, 11%. It's impressive numbers. They're struggling with a depression 4 times more often than the average population, because this specific of the brain would make you brave, open to innovation, open to the risks. The dark side of it is that sometimes you can feel very, very disappointed in yourself and don't have enough resources to get up from your bed, and so on and so on. But if you know that you have specific brain, you need just to take care about it a little bit another way. That's what made me inspired to go to different podcasts, writing articles, participate in different research, and doing my job every day. Because I believe that if you will just be informed about the specific of your brain and nervous system, it will help you. Same thing, very important for your skills like a leader, because there is a difference between entrepreneurial and non-entrepreneurial brain. And when you're managing your team and you're providing your brilliant ideas to your team, you need to understand that their brain works a little bit another way. And you need to find the approach for your people based on this understanding. And I think this is one of the top requests for my services. I have an idea, I want to make pivot, but my team are not ready for this. What can we do with this? And I would like to implement strategy that I created, and I would like the strategy work. What can we do with this? So, and another thing, as always, I think that mostly when we're helping for other people, we're helping for ourselves.
So, what's been one of your favorite client success stories?
Oh God. Actually all of them, because they're my clients and I'm proud of all of them. Okay, I will share you the one. I had a client, he came to me exactly with this request that I gave above. Like, I would like to pivot my business, and it was a very challenging year for my team because we need to cut off the personnel, and we will reduce the investments of those businesses that they worked for several years. And this business was really successful. It was the entrepreneur from Y Combinator alum, successful, amazing professional. TechCrunch wrote about them. So everything that you can picture here. And he would like to pivot business, but he would like to keep this team, all the board members. He would like they do with him his new business idea and work together. So, I have what kind of two tasks here. From one side, to help them to go through these emotions that they had during the last year. I mean, to speak about the painful moments when they need to cut off the people that they hired before, who was their teams, who was their dearest people in this organization. To speak with each other, because they lived in a different cities and states of the country mostly. Some of them were here in Silicon Valley. Some of them live in different states, like in Texas and another one. So, but at the same time, with the same team, we need to move to another direction and inspire them to do it together and to accept the idea of the business owner, of their founder. And one of the brightest moments of the session, I will not tell everything that we did there. It was a long period of preparation for this, and then the several cycles of the session. But it was a very interesting moment. I asked them to create kind of the timeline of the last year and just put there the dots. Where were the brightest moments for the emotional side, like dark moments or bright moments, happiness, sadness, everything. And they did it anonymously. And first thing that impressed me, everybody put dots at the same places. But another thing, I worked with this business owner for a long time, and he's kind of my client in one-to-one work. And he has a CEO, and he already not very deep in operational aspects of the business. He just see his team probably one time per 2 months or something like this. And we found that this dynamic of emotional condition of his team were absolutely the same like his was during this year, in spite they didn't have a deep connection with each other, in spite they didn't see each other, in spite his team didn't know what's going on in his life, and he had a really tough year from his personal aspect, his mental condition, and so on and so on. And when I was a student, my main research work was dedicated the organizational culture, was dedicated for organizational culture. And I found at that period that the source of organizational culture is the business owner. Do you want it or you don't want it? You are the source of the organizational culture. In this example, sorry,
You're good.
brilliantly emphasize that it's true. Because the condition of the owner reflected in his team for 100%, and he saw it. And he saw that if he will not change something inside of him, it will be very difficult to change something in his team and in his business. And since that moment, real work started. And right now, this organization are really successful. They opened new business, they develop it to the top level, and they already, with the same team, they already opened the next one, and they got an investment, and they're really successful. And the level of connection between them is absolutely developed in the trajectory, and I'm really proud of this work.
That's wonderful. So when you think about the word retirement, the actual idea of retirement, what comes into your mind? What do you think about?
Oh God,
Oh.
why are you asking about it? It's really interesting.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's just, yeah, it's just something that a lot of people don't want to do it. I think we're entering generational mindsets where it's just changed the way that people are approaching it.
Yeah, Joe, I think that all of us can be in the early retirement because of the artificial intelligence.
Yeah, for sure.
And okay, if we're not speaking about kind of financial aspect of your life, and
Right.
let's imagine that we're speaking of those situations and those people that already have enough money not to take care about it on this period of their life. I think that this is kind of new competence of the modern people to have a uh, meaning of their living. Why am I living? Why am I waking up every day for living? What make me to wake up? This is the same question that you asked me about. And I believe that if you have a meaning, it can be absolutely different thing. It can be professional thing. It can be kind of your mission. It can be, for example, your family and the moments with your family because you didn't have enough time to spend with them before. It can be absolutely different thing. But if you are able to create a meaning of your everyday life, I think this is the something that we can name future skill, because when artificial intelligence can cover all of your needness mostly and can do a job for you. For example, we right now have several services for the self-drive cars in San Francisco. We have Waymo, we have Robotaxi, we have Zoox. And at this year, the amount of the tourists who use self-drive car were higher than users of the Uber, Lyft, or other services. Just imagine, people prefer the self-drive cars, and this is a great example of changing on this market. And if, for example, you like a Uber driver have a Tesla, and this car can work instead of you, and you at that time can just chill at home, spend the time with your kids, I don't know, fishing, whatever you like. Probably at the first day it will be impressive and cool, but will you not feel boring without the necessity to go to the day-to-day job? And if you're able to create meaning, I think everything will be fine. And answering to your question, I think that the main thing doesn't matter, is it retirement period of your life or not? You need to have this meaning of your living, and this is very, very important in our era.
So let's say you have a dream tonight, run into the 18-year-old version of you, and you have a book in your
Okay.
hands, and it's a big coffee table book, and it's your life so far. And you laid it down and said, "This is the life you've lived so far." Would that young version of you believe it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So I lived in at that period. It was a very challenging teenage period, when you are falling in love dramatically and you're thinking only about it. And if somebody will say me that I will live in California and doing what I'm doing and doing the impressive research with the US Berkeley University. And for example, for now, I'm also serving like a director of strategic development of New York City Opera. This is impressive, well-known organization, and I've helped them to be innovative and modern in our modern life because this is institution from industry of the classic arts, and it's very difficult for them to be appropriate for the modern world, and that's what I'm doing for them. And I'm spending a lot of time in New York with the different people, with an artist, and so on. And if anybody will say that it will be my life, then heroes from the movie will be just kind of my colleagues or something like that. No, 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 100%. I think I will not believe in it. It sounds like a dream.
So of everything that you've done, everything you've accomplished, what are you the proudest of?
You mean what I'm proud most of all?
Yeah, like most of all that you've done with your life, what are you the proudest of?
Uh, I think this is the decision to move to United States. And it was just one-way ticket. I mean, I didn't have a plan and I didn't have a time for plan. And I just think that, okay, I need to be there and I will handle it somehow. And I really did it. Don't ask how, but I was able to handle it somehow. And it wasn't easy. It is still not easy sometimes, but it's definitely worth it. And another thing, actually, I'm proud of myself that I'm doing my job, and each result of my clients, this is what make me believe that my life are useful for some purposes.
So everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, everyone you work with, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I believe that I'm kind of aventuristic person. This is the part of entrepreneurship, to be very open to the different adventures, and I'm very open to change. And I think that this is my main identity. I love change. I love new impressions, and I'm really open for change. And I feel comfortable when the environment around me are changing. And it's very difficult for me to live in kind of stable reality without something new.
Yeah. So if anyone wants to hire you, they have questions, they want to reach out, any of the good business, where do they go?
You mean the connection, how they can connect with me?
Yeah, how they can connect and how they can ask questions, hire you, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Joe, for this opportunity. You can easily find me on LinkedIn, Marina Morgan SF, or on my website, the morganimpact.com. You can request kind of free consultation. I will be happy to speak with you about what you need right now in your business.
Excellent. Marina, this has been so nice. Thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time. Have a wonderful new year. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Joe. You're really amazing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.